Harper Audio presents The Roots of the Olive Tree by Courtney Miller Santo. Performed by Karen White. For Winnie and Sophia, who are the beginning and the end of my family's 5 generations. In the olive grove, a wise man at the feet and a wild man at the head. Italian proverb. Anna in the fall. Chapter 1. Arrival. Anna Davison Keller wanted to be the oldest person in the world. She felt she was owed this distinction due to the particular care she'd taken with the vessel God had given her. In her morning prayers, she made a show, in case God himself was watching, of getting out of bed and onto her knees. She spoke to God in his language, asking for a length of days to be added to the 112 years she'd already lived, and pleading for health in her navel and marrow in her bones. She didn't say outright that God ought to strike dead that Joe-fired man in China who was keeping her from the title, but after all these years, surely God knew her heart. In 2006, summer overstayed its welcome, giving the entire Sacramento Valley the look of wildflowers sat too long in a vase. Dawn was still an hour away, and although it was early November, the air that morning was warm and stale. Anna dressed in the dark, while her terrier Bobo nipped at her heels, urging her to the door. Rising before the sun gave her privacy enough to be pleasant with her daughter and granddaughter, who shared the tidy house with Anna. People often mistook them for sisters. Rubbish, Anna always thought. But that was the young for you. To anyone under 30, everyone over 60 looked the same age. She didn't want the toast and marmalade on her plate. Making it was part of her routine, but she was realizing that too many minutes of her days were taken up by unexamined habits. She forced a bite, tossed the remainder to Bobo, and stepped onto the back porch. For the past several days, she'd been preoccupied with the impending arrival of a doctor, a geneticist, who was coming to study Anna and her progeny. As it had been explained to her, the man hoped to unlock the keys to longevity that hid in the genes of certain people. Super-agers, they were called. Anna thought of it as a holy grail search, although she sensed saying this aloud would be tomfoolery on her part. Thank God he was finally arriving today. The anticipation had kept her from giving full attention to normally reflexive activities, like sleeping. Last night, she'd been plagued by dreams filled with half-formed images of umbilical cords and the face of a woman she didn't recognize. Then there was her appetite. Each time she tried to eat, her stomach seemed to be full of its own acids. Anna needed a distraction, and today, with the harvest finally over, the olives would be waiting for her. In the dark, the long slope of lawn was gray and heavy with dew. She stayed at the porch railing and watched Bobo run down the steps and across the lawn to where the grass ended and the family's orchard began. There was not enough light to see the olive trees, but Anna could hear the leaves rustle as the northers blew through the valley. She pursed her lips. A muttering, anxious voice inside her clawed its way to the surface. There's fruit to glean. Olives plumped up so tight that the skin'll split at the slightest touch. Dozens of drupes dropping to the ground with each sway of a bough. They're out there rotting, an ample feast for pests. She felt this guilt after every harvest. The pickers were only...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?